Hey guys, it's Tony here with ARO-Online, and today I'm not in the woods. Instead, I'm going to show you what I'm going to be taking with me on a 8-night, 9-day trip to Isle Royale, which is a national park up in Lake Superior. And I'll be leaving for that trip at the end of this month. So 3 weeks from now at this point. And I'm really excited about it. It's the longest distance I'll have hiked. My planned route is for 90 miles. Of course, that assumes everything goes perfectly along the way. And then it's also, like I said, it's 8 nights or 9 days. And I have not done more than 5 consecutive days on trail before. So very excited about that, and looking forward to what's to come from there. But I want to take some time today to show you what I'm taking with me, and just kind of go over that a little bit so you have an idea. I'm going to try to keep this short because this is the 3rd time I've filmed this video. That's the reason it's been so long since I've uploaded. First one I shot was way too long. Second one I shot just had some quality issues. So this one I'm going to shoot it a little bit different. I'm going to do kind of the standard overhead kind of gear video that you see from anybody doing longer trail hikes. So with that in mind, I'm going to reposition the camera and get some gear out on the table, and we'll get started. Okay, so what we'll take a look at first is the items in the brain of the pack. This is kind of everything that I am going to keep there. I guess the map may make its way to my pocket, but for now it'll start out in the brain of the pack. So coming down, looking at some of the electronics, what we've got here is iPhone charge cable, 2 short micro USB charge cables, and then as a backup for my iPhone charge cable, this is a micro USB to Lightning adapter, and so I'll take that in case I lose or damage the iPhone cable. Then I've got my Black Diamond Revolt headlamp. Really like this headlamp. USB rechargeable, but you can also swap out the batteries in it. My backup lens, which is a Canon 24mm lens. Got my Anchor 26,800 milliamp hour battery for recharging everything. This has 3 charge ports and then 2 ports to recharge itself. Love this battery. Love that it's all rounded over. And you can actually carry this in your pocket and it's not uncomfortable. It's heavy, but it's not uncomfortable. Then I've got a RAV Power charger for my Canon 80D, which is what I'm filming with right now. Does 2 batteries at once, obviously USB rechargeable. The standard Canon recharger or battery charger is not USB. It only plugs into a wall, so I had to buy an aftermarket one. Then I've got 2 non-Canon batteries for my Canon. I will say that these are not nearly as good as the Canon the Canon battery itself. They just don't last as long. They were way cheaper, so probably still worthwhile, but I could get by with less batteries if I had bought like true Canon for everything. Right here is kind of a backup mic setup. So I've got a couple extra jellies for my earbuds should I happen to lose them or they get damaged or anything. Then I've got this Evister. It's a voice recorder. You can also use it to listen to music and that kind of stuff. I'm just taking it primarily as a voice recorder. Should the weather be bad and I need to switch from the shotgun mic to a lapel mic, I have a lapel mic. I'll plug it into this and then I'll just sync up the audio when I get home. So not necessarily, this is a just in case, purely taking this because I'm making a video. This wouldn't go with me on any other hike for any other reason than filming. And then I guess I'll put this down here. Ooh, glare. So I've got my GoPro Hero 4 Silver on a mini tripod. So we'll take that guy as a secondary video source. Should anything happen to my Canon, if I want to go into the water with it, I can do that. And you know, if it's really rainy or something like that, I could switch to this. Then I've got 2 GoPro batteries in addition to the one that's inside the GoPro. So 2 extras. Obviously one's official GoPro and one is Smatry. And then I have this ProGo battery charger for the GoPro. And the main reason I like this one over some of the others out there, well, you can see that, but it has options for the micro USB as well as the mini USB. So, you know, mini USB is what the GoPro standard is, unfortunately, or at least the older ones. I don't know about the newer ones. And then mini is like what everything else is pretty much these days. So I like that flexibility there. We've got a Night Eyes S-Beaner. Hang this off the outside of the brain of the pack. That will be used to hang up my food bag at night. Got the Nat Geo Isle Royale Trails Illustrated map, and from all of the experts on trail, or experts of Isle Royale, they say this is pretty much the must-have map for the island. These are some extra batteries I'm probably not going to take, so let me just toss those out of the way. First aid kit, let me swap this around here, no shadows. So my first aid kit is some, in this case it's rock tape, but it could be KT tape or whatever your favorite brand is. Using that in the place of moleskin. You know, you got to use it before it becomes an actual blister. So I'll use that, and then I'm also using that in conjunction with some non-stick pads and gauze in case I need a band-aid for something. So that will be, like, I can cut these down and put this over it, you know, depending on the size of the wound. I've got a pair of tweezers, and I have them in a little case that they came in so that they don't poke a hole through the bag or anything like that. I have some ibuprofen and some allergy type medicine, and then a triangle bandage that I can use for you know, anything bigger, like if I sprain something or injure something, injure a joint or a ligament or something like that. And then I just noticed I left this out of the camera stuff, but this is just a lens cloth that will be in with that stuff. Hygiene. I have deodorant. Sorry, I know a lot of people say embrace the stink. I just don't want to. More so for myself than out of concern for other people. And toothpaste, some baby powder. Again, this is kind of in conjunction with the deodorant. I'm not really planning on using this for chafing or anything like that. This is more about removing odors and that kind of stuff. And then obviously a toothbrush. And then I have a little bit of clothing gear. This is a heavier duty buff. It's actually, I think I bought it at a ski shop. And it's dual lined, so I'll use this because it will probably be pretty cold at night. I think lows are generally in the upper 40s for the time period I'm going to be there. Highs in the low 60s. And then this is just a pack towel. It's the smallest one I've got. and I'm taking that in case they have showers at each end of the island, so in case I want to rinse off, or if I'm in the lake or anything like that, using that for that. So that's everything that will kind of be in the brain of the pack. And yeah, so we'll move on to, let's move on to the hip pocket next, and then we'll go into the body of the pack after that. Okay, so hip pocket equipment. I have one extra Canon battery that is to be used for, just in case I run out on the trail. That way I don't have to stop, take it out of my pack. Several extra memory cards. I think I've got, 3 64s and a 32 gig in addition to what's in my camera and what's in my GoPro. And then another lens cloth. Some just cheap Sony headphones. 3-inch old timer brand knife. And a second Bic lighter. I have another one that is in with my cook kit. This is my backup. I have a waterproof bag for my cell phone, which I guess I can put out here. It is an iPhone 6S Plus. And a pair of lightweight wool gloves, hiking gloves from REI. Some Body Glide. This is branded as foot. I don't know that has anything to do with anything at all. But anyways, some Body Glide for my feet to help with blisters. A little bit of Burt's Bees for chapped lips. Some Picardin. I only like the lotions and the stuff that you spray in and rub in. It's way more effective from everything I've researched and lasts longer than the aerosolized stuff. And then a bug net, just because more for around camp, but I have heard that there can be spots where bugs are really bad. So that's what's in my hip pocket. And next we'll move to, I guess, the outside of the pack, and then we'll worry about what's inside the pack. Okay, so outside of my pack, we have, these are some Columbia Omnitech waterproof breathable rain pants. I really don't normally take rain pants. I just deal with wet legs. However, with the temperatures that are supposed to be on the island and everything I'm reading from other people says bring them. So I'm going to trust them and bring them. And I'll let you know after my hike if I think it was necessary for my trip. Outdoor Research Helium 2 rain jacket. Obviously this does compress really small. I just don't normally store it in that compressed form factor. I just shove it in the pack. So that's kind of why it's a mess right here. Toiletries. We have the Deuce of Spades. I believe every campsite has a pit toilet or a vault toilet. So I don't typically go to the bathroom a ton on trail. This is more of an emergency. But you know, you got to be prepared, and if there happens to be a pit toilet that's, I don't know, either full or nasty or whatever, because I am going at the end of the season, then I can always, use that and dig a hole. I have hand sanitizer. I have, it's like half a roll of toilet paper, compressed down. I know I don't need this much toilet paper. One, I can use it as fire starter. Two, I like to carry my toilet paper on the the roll, so that if I find a good tree that has a stick, like a low branch on it, I can just stick the roll on there, and I don't have to worry about setting this on the ground and all the logistics that go with dealing with that. not a huge deal. If I was going for a shorter trip, I wouldn't take all this. But 8 days is, 8 days. And then I have some wipes. These I know, don't bury them, despite what they show on the packaging. It disrupts the bacteria that breaks down the other feces that's in the hole. So I'll use these primarily to wipe down at the end of a day as a bath, quote unquote. And I will pack them out in these black kind of Ziplocs. They're not Ziploc brand, but and I'm carrying. I wish I had bought these in a bigger size. Carrying 2 for each direction of my hike, so 2 for half the hike and then 2 for the other half. They are aluminized on the inside so that you can't see through them, and they're quite odor resistant. I mean, this is the same kind of packaging you would see coffee in. So I'll take these on trail, and I just got these off of Amazon. Water filtration, Sawyer squeeze, better flow rate than the Mini. A million people had videos about that online. I won't bore you with that right now. And then a Knock 2-liter Vecto bag for my dirty bag, for dirty water. There's 2 days where I'll hike at least 10 miles without crossing a water source. So I will probably carry some dirty water in this to supplement my clean water. And then we have my Osprey pack cover for my pack. And this is a rain cover for my camera, for my Canon. Lens comes out this end, and then with it being see-through, I can tell if I'm in focus or what I'm shooting or whatever. So this works pretty well. The only thing it doesn't do well is it does muffle the microphone, hence why I would be taking that other mic kit as part along with my trip. So if I'm having to use that guy, I'll use the lapel mic and capture my audio that way. So that is everything on the outside pocket of my pack. We will move now to the inside of the pack. I lied. So I forgot my camp shoes, which are these Fila Skeletos. They have a hard sole, which I really like, as opposed to like I normally carry a water sock. These are old. They're pretty wore out, have holes in them, but they work really well. And I've actually hiked some distances in these, so they also serve as a backup shoe if I need to, as opposed to carrying like a flip-flop and not being able to use that as a backup. So, alright, now we'll go into the inside of the pack. Okay, so this isn't quite everything that's in my pack. I'll have to split this up a little bit just for space. So this first thing is my REI FlexLight camp chair. Packs down really small. It looks bigger than it really is right now. And then this is something that if I'm feeling like my pack is too heavy, this guy's gone from it before the trip. Like, I'm doing training hikes with it in my pack to see if I really want to take it. If I was only going for a couple days, I would not take it. I know that's counterintuitive, but I have that Z seat, the Thermarest Z seat. That's just fine for me for short trips. Over long periods of time, my butt hurts using that thing for too long. So since this is a long trip and I'll have a couple of short hiking days, I'm thinking a camp chair would be good. So that's why I have it in my pack. I don't know yet if that will actually make it. Primary clothing bag. I have a pair of Columbia Silver Ridge hiking pants. They do not zip off. A Columbia Silver Ridge hiking shirt. That's the button-down shirts you've seen in my videos. I have 2 pair of ex officio boxer briefs, and then a pair of Champion boxer briefs that will go on the trip in addition to what I'm wearing. So that gives me 4 pairs of underwear. Basically I have to wear each pair for 2 days throughout the trip. Climate Static V2 sleeping pad. This is non-insulated. I think I'll be okay at 40 with this. If the forecast is going to be much lower than that, then I will swap it out for my insulated Climate Static V2 sleeping bag or sleeping pad. The ARO Premium Pillow Large, Sea to Summit. So a pillow is a must for me. I can't just do folded up clothes, at least not exclusively. So I'm taking this guy. I love this pillow. I do wish it was actually, I had bought the one that's even bigger than this, but it gets the job done. And then these are my sleep clothes. So I have a pair of Darn Tough long hiking socks. Again, primarily to sleep in or possibly for around camp. A long sleeve t-shirt. It's just an athletic shirt. And then a pair of North Face tights. So the North Face tights can, if it's a particularly cold day, go on underneath my pants and help keep me a little bit extra warm. So this stuff I'm wearing only to sleep in generally. I might make an exception on the socks because of I want to keep them clean for keeping my top quilt clean, keeping all my sleeping stuff clean. And then I have a Spalding hoodie. I really like this hoodie because it has like a 3/4 zip and the hood is extra large on it. Let's see. I can cinch this down and pretty much my whole face disappears in it. And I really like that feature because one of the downsides of having a top quilt is that you do not have a hood on it. With the food bag, I'll break that down in just a second and discuss what I'm taking. It's 90% ready to go. And with my cook kit, I will do the same. So I'll clear off the clothes and then break this stuff out. Actually, we'll break this stuff out after I talk about my sleeping or my top quilt because that's the last like major piece of gear outside that goes inside the bag. So give me 1 second to clear some of this off and I'll show you the top quilt and we'll go from there. Okay, so this is my Hammock Gear Burrow Econ 20. Focus. There we go. So I have it's orange and gray, and actually just discovered a problem with it, which I'll have to reach out to them about. So this has a zip foot box so that I can open it up if it's a particularly hot night. That allows me to use it on warmer nights as opposed to a traditional sleeping bag. And then it has the drawstring enclosure. Now, what I just noticed as I was trying to close it up to get ready to shoot this, the drawstring from one side came off. So it only goes in the one direction now. It should have another cord that goes in up here. So if I draw this closed, that side stays open. I'll be able to figure something out to make this work for my trip, but I'm going to have to talk to Hammock Gear because, you know, this wasn't, I know it's not their most expensive bag, but this wasn't a cheap bag, and for it to fail already, that's a little disconcerting. I've only used it a handful of times, so I'm guessing that was just a luck of the draw thing. I've never heard of them having any quality issues. So it was probably just a, you know, 1 in 1,000 mistake or whatever, but I'll go ahead and talk to them about that and see what I can do, but I don't think I can get it fixed by them before I have to leave. Okay, so food stuff. This is everything for half of the trip. So we've got 10-liter dry bag. This is just Free Grace brand, which is something I got off of Amazon. I like the way that this bag forms and behaves. It still is a tube shape, which I would like to get away from. I'd like to get to more of a rectangular bag, but this works just fine, so I'll continue to use that on this trip. Some snacks. I don't have snacks for every day. I don't need a snack on a short day. In my opinion, I won't eat it, and I'll end up carrying it for no reason. So just some cookies, crackers. I have some hot sauces to go with some of the meals, and then I have some instant blueberry tea that I can use for like dinner or breakfast, just to change it up from water for the entire trip. First night's dinner. This part is a little bit incomplete. I'm going to have it cold because I'm going to have to eat it on trail. My ferry lands at 3 o'clock, and then I'm trying to hike at least 10 miles, might even try pushing to 12, depending on how I feel. So that first day, so dinner will be on trail. I will either have some bagels or some tortillas for this. Bagel thins, probably not full bagels, or tortillas. So along with that, I have lunch. This is 3 days worth, so 2 packages. And then, of course, just like with the Spam, some sort of bread to go with it. Dinners, I've got a rice and chicken Mountain House meal, and then I've got a Nor rice side, cheddar and broccoli. I'm just going to try doing it without adding any meat to it. If it doesn't feel like enough, I'm actually more than willing to take one of these packages and put it in there, or even the Spam, and have less food for a lunch if I have to. But this will be my last day meal probably before I hit Wendigo and get my resupply box. So I'm just not too overly concerned about it. I mean, there's still plenty of calories. There's 230 per serving. There's 2.5 servings, so there's over 500 calories, almost 600 calories in this package alone. And combined with some of the snack food and stuff like that, I'm not too awful worried about it. And then I have just 2 packets of oatmeal for breakfast each day. So that's that. Cook kit. Store everything in just a soft-sided lunch box, basically. This I take this because while I'm rehydrating a dinner or a meal like this, I can store it in here and it'll stay a whole lot warmer while it rehydrates. So that's nice. And then everything I need for cooking also happens to fit inside that, so it kind of works out well. This is a Primus ETA Light stove. Has a lid which technically serves as a cup if I need to. The stove itself. And I have a smart water bottle that I've cut down and then put measuring lines on it. This was not my idea. I saw this. It might have been Jason Outdoor Adventures or Syntax 77 that I first saw do this. But this helps tremendously when measuring out water for a meal. So all that stuff fits nicely in there. Then we just have some fuel. This is a big bottle. I may not take a big bottle. I haven't decided what I want to do. But I'm only boiling for breakfast and dinner over the course of 8 days. I think I can get away with a small bottle for sure, but especially since I'm only doing it for one person. But I may take the big one just because I already have it. And then a Sea to Summit long-handled spork. Long handle's a must if you're eating from a mountain house. Lighter, again, this is the primary lighter, and then I have a backup in my hip pocket, and then a hank of paracord, probably, I don't know, probably 50 feet, 30 feet, something like that, for hanging my bear bag at night. So that's the food stuff. Like I said, I have a bounce box that'll come to me. I'll get it right before dinner on day 3. So this is my light food situation. So then I'll have a dinner for day 3 in that bounce box, and then all my trail food for the next 4 days, and then a breakfast for day 5, and then after that I'll be eating off the island. So it'll have an extra meal of each of these basically, but it'll be pretty much the same stuff. Alright, so the last couple of big pieces of gear that I think I have to go over. First is my Big Agnes Fly Creek High Volume Ultralight 2 Mountain Glow tent. Name's a mouthful, but I like this tent. Got a great deal on it when I bought it. I don't think I would like it at its normal retail price, but the deal I got it on it, which I think was like 60% off, it's quite a great tent. It's some of the stuff I don't like about it, I think, are just trade-offs that you have anytime you go with an ultralight tent, and that's kind of new to me. So that was my first one. So then I have my Osprey Exos 58 liter pack. This is the large one, so it's actually, I believe, 61 liters. I do have the brain on it. I typically do not, but in this case, I think I'd be pushing it to get everything inside the pack. I might be able to make it work, but I might not be able to make it work easily day after day. So for now, I'm just going to go with not having that in, or having the brain on there. But we'll see if as we get closer, if I can shave that off. And then I have my DeLorme, which is now Garmin, but I have the older model, InReach Explorer, GPS, and two-way communicator on it, and it does have SOS features, so that if I get hurt on the island or anything like that, I can reach out for rescue if needed. This is a necessity for me as I solo hike. Not only does it guarantee that I can pretty much always reach out to my wife, just to give her a check-in once or twice a day, but it also guarantees that I can at least get out for some rescue, even if the worst of the worst were to happen. I mean, at least it gives me the opportunity to get out. So those are like the last 3 pieces, and I will say I wear this on my shoulder strap on my pack. You've probably seen it in some of my videos, but it's just up here, and I've never had any problems with it. It is waterproof. So there's that. I guess I'll flip back over here to the front side of the pack, since I already flipped it over, and show that I added this Osprey. It's actually a fanny pack, but it doubles. It has the ability to attach to a pack and act as a hip pocket. So I added one of these, and all that stuff you saw earlier fits in here pretty easily, so no issues there. It is not waterproof though, just FYI. And then this guy here, I actually saw this on, I believe it's David Gray's videos, but this is like a holster for your camera. So if I'm on a stretch where I need to make up some time, and I don't want to necessarily have my camera in my hand, but I want to have 2 trekking poles in my hand instead. I can slide my camera with the little adapter on it, slide that in here, it locks in, and then it is out of the way. And then I can just take my Joby Gorilla Pod, which is sitting here on the couch. I can take that and slide it in with like one of my drink holders or whatever, and carry it out of the way as well. And that will give me the ability to sit, like, kind of force myself. You need to make up some time or whatever. You need to focus and hike, but also you turn a corner and there's a moose there or something. I can quickly basically press this button and it releases the camera, and then I can pull the camera out and take photos or video right away. I think that was a pretty good little investment, and super thankful that I caught that in one of David's videos. So other than that, the only other thing I have is I'll be carrying 2 1-liter smart water bottles as my drinking bottles with the flip top caps, and then I will be carrying a a trash bag liner inside my pack for all my gear that I want to keep dry. So that's where we stand with that. But yeah, I really appreciate you watching. I hope it's been helpful, or if nothing else, at least it's passed some time while you're sitting at your desk at work. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this hike, and 3 weeks can't get here fast enough, in my opinion. So I'm ready to get out there and enjoy this hike, and I hope that you can get out and enjoy a hike of your own sometime soon. Thanks. Bye.